New Kvkl season 2026 is here. Charity tournament halfway. Half of a charity tournament happened 2 days ago. Kvkl season starts in 12 days. I'm here with Ryan Pindry. It is the Pirate Pod. How you doing, Ryan?
Dude, Kickball.
It's back.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm doing great. Best time of the year right now. Got that tournament out of the way. Now it's less than 2 weeks till Kvkl kicks off, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I wasn't able to be there. I was unfortunate. I mean, I would say pretty fortunately watching my team win the FA Cup semifinal at Wembley. But yeah, I was definitely like not happy to not be playing kickball, I guess I would say. Obviously my team did all right, all things considered, from afar. But I was definitely like checking my phone at the game the entire time, waiting for score updates from everybody. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It's a new season, man. They're like, at least on the surface level, doesn't appear to be too much change. Like obviously we have a new board. Liz gone, Cal gone. Who am I missing? Liz,
Clint?
Cal, Clint gone.
Mm-hmm.
We're missing somebody. I don't know who it is, but we got new ones with Jeff Bovey, Brandt, Riley, Keister, and
Tozer. Travis Tozer.
Oh, and Travis.
Yeah.
Then we got another person.
Yeah. I can't think who it is off the top, but Stacy.
No, she's been off the board. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Nonetheless, we got a new board, got a new world. Not allowed to give out any spoilers. And all this is unconfirmed and all alleged as far as I'm concerned, but I believe a change is undergoing with the new scheduling. I think they're making a concerted effort to get away from the missing match weeks, which I think has been like a two-sided complaint. I think teams at the top have complained about it, and I think teams at the bottom have complained about it. So, I think the board is trying to do what they can to address it. At least like what the clubhouse leader of rumors of what they're doing isn't necessarily what I agree with or what I would do if I was in their position. But again, it's not final. I'm not going to speculate too much on it. I wish the board the best with all that. I don't know. Like I don't think they're going to get a lot of positive feedback because I think what they're doing is kind of like really one-sided. But like I'm sure their counterback is going to be, well, everybody complained. You told us you wanted to play teams that are around you more. So yeah, I mean that's the way the cookie crumbles, man. And like. I don't know if you had any suggestions for the board in the off season.
No, I try to keep my hands off. I did apply for the board, then I forgot I applied for the board, and then I got an email to put in my actual application. I was like, oh shit, here we go. No, I can't be bothered with that. Honestly, I just let them make their decisions.
Yeah.
I got plenty to make with the Tropics. So.
Yeah, with the Tropics. I sent the board a really long email in the off season, like really long. It took me about 2.5 hours. And I will probably give a monologue on that and further detail on Sunday at the captain's meeting because I'll wait to see, what changes they're proposing and stuff before I give my takes. I'm not necessarily happy, like all things considered, given the amount of time and effort I put into that email with like what we've seen happen. Because like what I would say on the surface level is like one of my first suggestions was having an earlier captain's meeting because it's like I do think all things considered like. It's pretty ridiculous that like we don't find out really any information besides people talking behind people's backs and like whispers from someone who heard it from someone until like a week before the season. That doesn't really feel right to me. And next year we'll do it earlier. Like everyone always says next year, so at some point we have to like kind of put our foot down on that. But my only other real complaints is it doesn't sound like first base encroachment has like gotten any resolution. Like I gave like a really long spiel on that, and like I don't think we got any resolution there. And like my take is like I sent out the email that I sent to the board to a couple other people, and like I definitely said it in a very like Bryson-esque way. Like I definitely like had some personality behind the email, but like I don't know, like some of the things like on the surface level was like I addressed like player safety, which like we try to talk about. Like the board will tell us 45 times this year how important player safety is, and it's like we're not addressing the first base situation. Like, do you guys actually care about player safety? And like the biggest thing I think that like I don't necessarily like fraternize about with a lot of KVKlers. Like I kind of stick to my group and talk to my group, and then like I'll hang out with you at Kvkl and stuff. But it's like I don't really socialize with a ton of KVKl people. So I don't know, maybe everyone is talking about this, but like league fees went up a lot this year. And are you aware of why league fees went up a lot this year? The city is charging $950 a team for Kvkl this year.
Yeah.
And the Kvkl only charged us $450. I would say that's a fucking steal.
Yeah, that is
a fucking steal of a deal. And we won't go too long on this. I'd much rather talk kickball, but I have like a almost three-sided take on that. As one, I played soccer in New York. I play soccer in New York City. I'm in a soccer league in New York City called Urban Soccer. I play with my coworker and all of his friends. And like obviously, I live in Lawrence, Kansas for the most part, and so I'm only there like once a month or like I have like basically what ends up happening. I'll have a run like where I'm there 3 weeks in a row, and then I'm gone for 2 weeks, and I'm there for 3 weeks, I think. But I think our league dues are $182 a person. And it's like $1,700 when we play 7 games, and then we have playoffs. And so it's like, to me, like, don't think $1,000 a team. Like in Kansas, it's like in Kvkl especially because we've gotten used to this like cheap model. Like, sure, and like obviously we're running a charity kickball league at the end of the day, so like we're trying to not charge a lot and then use money to help out the less fortunate, which is a great thing. And like, shame on the city of Lawrence to begin with, for like not giving the Kvkl a deal that we typically get, and like shame on the city of Lawrence for like not wanting to like work something out here, because like my take is like, and I get like if I was a Kvkl board, I can only imagine how stressful that situation is. So like massive credit to them for like dealing with that, but it's like I think a lot of people in Kvkl would agree, and maybe I'm in the wrong here, but like I don't think I am. It's like we could really fuck over the city of Lawrence and not play here, because it's like what I would look at is like, okay, city of Lawrence is gonna make about $36,000, but there is no alternative option. There's not like something else that could be happening there Sunday night, and so it's $36,000 or $0, and so that to me is like leverage, you know. And it's like I get this, like, but at the same time we need fields, but it's like I don't think people would be against like the idea of us having to play like half our games in Eudora and half our games in Baldwin or something at like open fields, and saying it's like, hey, like the city of Lawrence is trying to charge us a fuckload of money, and like we're trying to save money for charity, and like I think those cities would welcome us and be like, hell yeah, we'll take your fucking money. Like meet us at $18,000, meet us at $20,000, you know. And so I don't know how those negotiations went by any means, and I won't sit here and pretend that like that I think that Kvkl like didn't do their best, but I do think Kvkl has a ton of leverage. I do think Kvkl is great, and I think that at times, you know, sometimes you got to be an asshole. And, like I get Parks and Rec of Lawrence is like fucking everybody in the city over. We're charging for Rock Chalk Park and shit now. Like definitely the most scumbag fucking organization I've ever seen. But like to me, it doesn't feel right that we accepted that. Like I get like Kvkl was probably like like. We don't think people want to travel, but it's like also like a fifth of the league probably lives in Kansas City, or at least like, you know, that north of Lawrence. And so it's like I don't think that would, like, that's gonna be closer for them, and it might be a little further for those Pecans, but I mean that's ball, you know. Maybe you play something a little bit closer to Pekin as well, like have it half and half, and some weeks you're here, some weeks you're there, and say, hey Lawrence, like fuck you. And Lawrence would go, oh, we'll meet you at 600. You know, it's like I think we could have done something here.
Have you reserved field at all yet too? Because they've increased.
Well, we have practice tonight.
Let alone just like an RSVP for a field.
Yeah, and like my take is like, I'm not a scumbag that much. Part of me is like, why would I pay this? Like, go look on there, see what field's free, and show up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just
and I feel like people are probably doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and then like my one take is that like it's like somewhat of a negative back about this whole field situation, is that like I mean it's already happened a couple times where they're making mention of, hey, league fees are going up, we're trying to find ways to create money and this or the other. I'm going to be unhumble for a second. I would like to say I'm probably top 10 financially of givers to Kvkl Kickball League probably in the past 3 years. And not necessarily all that is like straight just like money going to charity, but like just in general. Like a couple years ago, like I don't remember what that team name was. It was like Angela's like brother had a team. Remember what they were called? Dumbbells or something?
Yeah, Dumbbells.
And they didn't sell their raffle tickets at Game of the Week one week.
Yeah.
And I like paid the amount of money they would have made so they wouldn't get in trouble.
Oh, tight. Okay.
And it's like I don't have any problems with it because like I would say again back to my point. I think $1,000 a team's actually not that bad. We play a lot. We get to play a lot. Like we get a lot. Fields are nice and stuff. Like I don't think that's that bad of a deal. But it's like to me, this is gonna go super scumbag. It's like if I wanted to be like a complete and total asshole, mind you, I'd be dirt poor after this. I could buy out KV. I could buy out Sunday night leagues from City of Lawrence.
Yeah.
I'll pay $50 a field more for the season, and then like then where the fuck is KVKL gonna play? And again, I would never fucking do that. That's like a fuckload of money, obviously, and like, but it would be like a proving a point situation, and it's like my point is that like there are a ton of people in KVKL that can very much help subsidize this cost that would be more than willing to like. And again, I don't want to like speak on people's behalf, but it's like, you know, I go to a lot of KU football games. I know you go to a lot of KU football games. Like, I sit around some people that have a lot of money, and like I see Josh Hunt in there in my section like every week. You know, I see plenty of people that are KVKL based that have tickets where I have tickets, and like those people have an extra $500, and it's like we're basically short $500 a team.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why don't we come up with an idea of a way for each team to raise $500? And I think there's ways. You know, it is what it is. I'll leave the board of that shit, but like my take is I'm way less willing to go out of my way to help the board when I spent 2.5 hours of my day typing up an email to them, and like none of my suggestions or ideas like got addressed, or I even got like an email back saying, hey, like thought this idea was great, but we're not doing it. Thought this idea was horrible, never send it to us again. Like I had like a lot of just like baseline, like very simple things, and like doesn't sound like any of them are getting done, but nonetheless, it's their league. I just show up to play and hopefully maybe someday compete to win it. But yeah, well, let's talk kickball. Three new teams, and effectively those 3 new teams, New Kids on the Block, which are actually a new team, Dustin Baxter's team, and then my team and Feral Femmes, who have basically like kind of completely revamped previously. I mean, like obviously like, Feral Femmes are technically Screamers, but I don't think are retaining a single player on that team. The same. And then my team is like the only people being retained are myself, Sean, Corinne, and Scott. So Brave New Worlds out there. That is just
that
Midnight
the same
Tokers.
team?
Same team, same team, new name.
And then Regulators,
same team, new name.
Okay.
Same team, new name. So yeah, it's like, yeah, and like, you know, I don't want to. We don't have to spend too much time talking about this, but you know, we did the polls, we did the rankings, and I'll say this, and I tried, and it's just like it's a classic. Like I get me, and I've actually just like really come to terms with the fact that like me and the average KVKler, especially like the longer tenured average KVKler, do not think the same, do not act the same, or will never be the same, and that's perfectly fine. But it's like some of those rankings, bro, and we've been doing this for a couple years now. I'm like, hey, we should probably just throw out the bogus ones. And they're like, no, everyone deserves an opinion.
So bad.
Dog, with all due respect, somebody put Feral Femmes first, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean this with all due respect to the Feral Femmes. I'll be rooting for them.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for them the same way the entire league was rooting for Empire a couple years ago to finally win the game.
Ringers.
I do not think Feral Femmes will play an opponent who took the game seriously within 10 runs all season.
Yeah.
And I hope they prove me wrong. I really, really do. But based off the few results I saw them get at the charity tournament, where they were playing with more men than they will be playing with in KVKL because they had to play with 4, I don't think it's going to go well, bro.
Really?
I don't think it's going to go well. And, like...
I think there might be, like, a couple teams. You don't think so?
Dude, I don't want to be... Dude, everyone's getting back, Bryce, you're an asshole. I'm, like, the only person who put in 36. No, I think I'm the only person who put in 36.
To be fair, like, I don't think... Like, I think it is... You're coming from a very, like... From what you've seen.
Yeah, what my problem is that, like... My problem is, if you go look at who they have on the team, and you remove gender from the equation, it's like player from team 18, like the best players on the team were rotational players on good teams, and I'll give credit to Liz Carr. Like, obviously, she was on KTZ before she was on Global, but, like, the only reason she was on Global is because her boyfriend, husband, or whatever is, like, was the captain.
Yeah. And
he is no longer the captain. She's no longer on the team. And, like, I like Heather. Heather shows up I mean, Heather has gotten 10 times better in the past, like, couple of years.
It's unreal.
But it's, like, it's still, though, like, she wasn't starting for LSF. And it's, like, when you're running a roster the way they're planning to run a roster, like, you would have liked to see an Angela on there or a Carrie on, you know, it's like you run like the LFK like travel team. If they were doing this, I think they could actually be pretty damn good. Like I think like if you gave them 3 good guys, and then the LFK girls, I think they could be pretty damn good. But it's like now also look who are the good guys on the team? Guys from teams that weren't playing, guys from teams in the 20s and 30s. It's just like I really don't think they're gonna play any competitive games, and I think my other take on it is like even more of an unfortunate disservice to them is that so many people will misranked them. Mm-hmm. Is that now even more so they're going to be fucked because like they were like improperly ranked, and so it's like I don't know, like I really like the open rankings. I think it's better than just letting the board do it behind closed doors, because somehow like they never seem to be able to rank teams properly. But it's like, dude, like I and again, like I bet some people had us like 16, and that's perfectly fine if you think that. Yeah. But my team last year was 16. Yeah. We were a horrible kickball team. Mm-hmm. We were a very, very bad kickball team, and so it's like people were probably just not realizing that we have a completely new roster, which is perfectly fine. But it's like I said, drop a link to the roster so everyone can see the rosters and like cross reference, and then like again, I have like no qualms with Alex Hammond, but it's like he's like, well, technically the rosters aren't locked and like anyone can still play with the internet. Who gives a fuck? Mm-hmm. No, and I said it in the comments, and everybody fucking ignores my comment. And it's like 95. I guarantee you, 95% of the people submitted on those rosters will be playing for the roster they're on week 1. Yeah. It's like you might have a couple people that are changing, and that is what it is. But it's like at least gives people a baseline. It's like I don't know. I just like there was a lot of people to solo yeet, and again, like someone had Feral Femmes first, and like so, and it's like with all due respect, we have to throw that shit out. Like we did, like with all due respect, we just have to throw that shit out because like. Those are the type of things that like complete like I'll just use like a random number. It's like let's say Feral Femmes was averaging around like 30, and then someone throws them a 1 that drops them down all the way to 26. Yeah. And then it's like that's gonna put them in a completely different group, and that's that's not a matter of like objective opinion. It's a matter of like you are now ruining the season for a lot of these people.
That's what I was gonna say is like I don't think there's any due respect. I think it's just ignorant.
Yes.
Like, it's just like what are we doing? Like,
yeah.
Let's be real about some of these things that we're looking at.
Yeah, and it's just like one of those, and like I said it a couple years ago, like when I first made like Sideport, it was like they ranked us in like the 27s, 28s, and like we boat raced everybody we played, except the 2 good teams, and it's like that's not fun for anybody. It wasn't fun for my team. It wasn't fun for the other team, and like I think the nice part of like the new system is that like for the most part the idea is that you're playing people around you so that your games are fun, but it's like the most important part of that is getting the like rankings right, and people being honest and transparent, and like. I'll use like your team. Your team's actually probably like a good example where it's like 2 years ago, like obviously you had like the Channels League right before and the Moors League right before, and like so it's like you guys were everyone's like, oh well, the Tribes might be really good. They had a really good end of year last year, blah blah. And it's like, well now unfortunately like we're going to be way worse than we thought we were gonna. Not way worse, but we're gonna be worse than we thought we were. And it's like it's like you have to be like upfront and honest about that with yourself and then with the league and be like, hey, like no, I don't think we should be here because it's like. The second that you did that, you guys were still ranked like you guys are going to be really good, and you lost almost every fucking game because they're playing all these good teams. And so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you want to really like, and I'll remove the competitive aspect from it. You want to take like a high level, like we're trying to grow a kickball league, we're trying to have fun, have like a great kickball league for charity. It's like maintaining people's ability to have fun is the most important part, and the schedule is the most important part to having fun. I get. There's the Liz Cars of the world who's a wonderful woman, a way better person than I that can like still have fun while her team's down 40 runs. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people can't. That's not normal. It's like I'm sure you know it's like that season you guys were like getting the doors blasted off you by teams you knew you weren't going to be able to beat. It's like that's not fun. No. There's nothing fun to that.
Well, it also I think one thing that you mentioned earlier was how like the timing. Like so if you get like these rankings done. Say it's a month ago that we get these rankings done and these polls and everybody's little columns are filled out and it's like, all right, I see what's happening. I lost, you know, and it's no secret I lost Junior, Maddie, Tyler, Colton last year. Like we lost them. Yeah. We've gained a lot of players, but just as an example, is like you see where they have you ranked. You don't have to know your schedule. You just see, okay, like these polls and the board has me at 11. Yeah. Let's say I just lost 5-6 players, the Chanels, the Moors that season. I'm gonna talk to the board, like like that was last year. Like this year's gonna be a lot different. Yeah. Like, we're not the 11th best team in the league.
Yes, agreed.
And that's just with the timing that you were saying, and like.
Yeah, and that's why and that was the biggest point of my email. And like I'm sure you felt it. It's like late February, early March when just like finally starts to get warm outside. It's like kickball is on the branding. Yeah. And it's like City League email comes out. And it's like City Leagues, and it's like, mind you, I don't really fuck with City League, but it's like sign up your teams again and stuff. And it's like, my take is like, we should capture. It's like, when you have all the momentum, I work in social media, man, and it's like, the number one thing in the world is that happens on social media. And honestly, I kind of hate it as a consumer. It's like something happens and it like hits. Everyone just does it a million times. It's like you got to fucking capitalize on things when they're like on the brain and hot. And it's like we don't do enough. It's like, why don't we have 2 preseason tournaments? Would you have played the tournament in late March?
Both.
I would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like what I would say too is like, I think like the charity tournament we have now is like you almost kind of have to play with your team for the most part, which is like obviously a couple of the top teams like made weird merger teams whatever, but it's like you kind of have to play with your team because it's like the season starts in 2 weeks. But it's like if we had a tournament in mid to late March and then had this tournament, it's like I'll make a team with you for the mid to late March. It's like go have fun and like go play with your friend, go play with people outside your Kvkl team, go like make weird goofy merger teams and like have fun with it and like. That's another way. You could have charged $100 a team, and we could have had 16 teams again. That's $1,600, and sure, half of it has to go to league fees or whatever. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I just think there's so much more to be doing. But
I do. One thing that I would, instead of like 2 tournaments, is so you know how like we have the fall ball. It's yellow ball, small ball, whatever. Pretty much same rules.
Yeah.
Little tweaks here and there. Is like, if that was happening in the spring before Kvkl, because like. The kickball I get outside of practice really is the big red ball, and people are throwing it up to my kneecaps.
Yeah.
And like I don't have much real game action, and so it's like fall ball's cool and all, and I'm not saying to replace it, but like do the same thing in the spring, get everybody ready for Kvkl.
Yeah, I honestly don't get why Kvkl lets fall ball be outsourced. That actually like doesn't make any sense. And like I get from like a, I'm sure like it's like okay, let's take a break. I don't want to be all, but it's like. Why would you not sanction that under Kvkl again and like say, hey, this is the deal? And I will say, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford to play fall ball anymore. If the city's actually trying to charge us this much money, I don't think anyone's going to want to pay that. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, I agree with you, spring, or even if it's like I don't know. I think there's so many. I think like something that we don't really do. It's like a lot of different other cities do on like a pretty regular basis is like draft tournaments, and it's like. You sign up for a draft tournament. You say, "Hey, I'm available Friday night, and Sunday night, and we all show up at 4:00. And we had 8 captains, and they drafted 8 different teams, and we just played this quick little tournament. And we all had fun, and it was what it was. And you played with new people, and you made new friends, and it's like all that can happen under the Kvkl umbrella, and Kvkl can make money off that. With charities and stuff too.
Like I think, my main point for me at least is like I don't know how many teams. This includes of like the new landscape of Kvkl because it's much different than it was 10 years ago, before I was in the league and stuff. But like a lot of people, I would imagine like their first times like actually playing with the ball, the yellow ball and stuff might have been this past Sunday. Yeah. It's like for me, it's like okay, I want to get these reps with this ball and like Tropics practice. That's not a surprise to anyone. So, but I'm just saying I can't speak for the 35 other teams. 34. It's just like. Give us a way to play some game action with these balls and stuff, and kind of get ready for the season we're about to have.
Agreed. All right, well, that's enough harping on off the field stuff. Let's talk on the field. I think I guess we might as well just start at the top, just because unfortunately, it is going to be what people care about and want to debate the most. But I think Kvkl is in a better spot this year at the top of the league than it was last year. And the real Pirate Pod heads might remember. I sat here. I might have been sitting in that chair. I sat in one of these couch chairs things of yours, and I told people, I said, "There's a chance that something might be happening. Might be cooking. And it cooked. And it's so funny because like one of my favorite things about Kvkl is like how people like act like I love to like gossip and drama and talk as if like everyone doesn't fucking talk and doesn't go to Red Lion and talk behind people's backs and doesn't go to Wednesday Kickball and talk about people and talk and like it's like everybody fucking gossips around this place. So like let's not act like that doesn't happen. But it's like the amount of people and the things I've seen people saying about my team are fucking bonkers. And it's like I don't want to talk too much about my team because like my team doesn't even care and doesn't want to have me talking about them. But it's like anyone who thinks we consider ourselves a super team is drunk. We do not. We consider ourselves people who are competitive and half decent at kickball that want to play together and want to win. And we just want to win. And I'll be like pretty candid because like I'm honestly just like really tired of hearing what everyone has to say about it and people saying bullshit. But it's like the reality is, especially the past like 5 years in Kvkl, there's been 2 teams that have won the title. And one of them created, and the most recent one, who's won 3 times in a row, has created a system team that has 4 of the best players in the league, and then a bunch of pretty good players that all practice and they do what their captain tells them to do. It is that simple. It is a very open and shut situation there. And that team also, for the most part, and especially even more this year, they've cut a little, they don't have a ton of fat, but they've cut their fat. There are players that were on the team last year that are no longer on the team, and players that were on the team the year before that were not on the team last year. It's like they cut the fat. And it's like the reality is these other teams, 2 through 6 or so, that are good enough to compete with Johnny's, are not willing to cut the fat. And that is perfectly fine. If you don't want to cut someone's wife, or you don't want to cut someone's husband, or you don't want to cut someone's friend of 12 years, that is perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. But don't complain when people on your team have a problem with that. And don't be surprised when the same thing happens. Definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And it's and that is the reality of why I left Post House when I did. Is I'm sure this season somehow, because I'm back competing, that there will be unnecessary beef there. But it's I have no problem with them. I was rooting for them last year. It's I have no problem with them. I really like Simon. I really like multiple people on that team. Really like Sarah Riley a lot. Played travel kickball with her, and it's reality was though is that there were people on that team that were not good enough to win the Kvkl. There were people who were just not good enough, and the unfortunate reality was some way or another those people were playing a lot on the field, and I am too competitive to if I'm going to compete, I'm going to compete. If I'm just going to turn my brain off and go have fun, I can do that. I tried to do that when I played with my buddy Ben on Drop Stoppers. It was let's go out there and fuck around. It's if we get the brakes beat off us, I don't give a shit. And I kind of did that with City League when I played with Dustin's team. We got the shit beat out of us all the time. And it's it is what it is. I don't give a shit. But it's don't ask me to become the competitor that's gonna leave every game unable to walk and covered in blood and covered in dirt, and then I'm watching my fucking same teammates lose us the game, and then when the season's on the line every year. And so, back to what my point was. That's we just at the end of the day, a lot of my team is built on the fact we're all kind of just tired of having teammates that didn't want to win as bad as we wanted to win, and I don't think there's a problem with that. And we might not win Kvkl, we might not be good enough. I don't know. And obviously we lost the game in the charity tournament. It was the first game at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't have our whole team. But it's we lost the game. We're gonna be more than beatable. Everybody's beatable. Johnny's was beatable last year. Post House beatable. Everybody was beatable. But not everyone's willing to do what it takes to win every single time, and what it takes to making the right strategy calls, and we are, and that's the only difference is that if something's not working, we will fix it. And if that is me being on the fucking bench, it's me being on the bench. If it's fucking Trey being on the bench, it's Trey being on the bench. It's we will do what it takes to make our team be at peak efficiency. And I don't know how good peak efficiency is. I think it's pretty good, but that's just really our take.
So is your vision, is this a long-term thing, a team that you from what you're gathering, is this a team that you think is going to be together 3 years from now, 4 years from now? Or is it hey, let's put together this team, let's all go out, do our thing, try to do our thing this year, and then whatever happens following,
I think, I would say, at least for, a couple years, without a doubt, I think, what I would say, giving you, a little bit of backstory is, I met with Sean, kind of expecting Sean and I to part ways at that point. I was just hey, Sean, I have the ability to put together this team, and I'll give a little detail on why I have that, but it's I have the ability to put together this team that, in my opinion, going to be, person for person, the best team in the league. Mm-hmm. And obviously, at that point, my catcher and third baseman had both their knees still fully intact. That is no longer the case.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it's I had the ability to do this, and I want to do it, and I'll say, I think I've been playing some of the best kickball in the league past 2 years, and I've been playing with, love everybody, not great players. Mm-hmm. And I've been playing in the middle tier, and that's perfectly fine. I wanted to do that. I had fun. I became better. I learned more about the game. I learned how to overcome things better. I became better in the process, but it's I was wasting some of my prime kickball years, not competing at the top. And so I want to do this again. And I have a team of people who want to do it the same amount as I do, if not more. And so I came to Sean and told him that, and he was dude, I'm being honest with you, I brought you on this team, and I kind of just handed the reins over to you because I believed in you, and I believed in what you were doing, and I knew you'd make the people who were on the team better, make me better, make my wife better, make Muditha better, make Kevin better, everyone that stayed, and he's I want to win, and he's I'm getting old. He's it's not lost on me. My knee hurts after 2 innings of playing, and he was just yeah, if you're telling me you can win me a Kvkl title, let's fucking do it, and And he's got a son. I think it's like 15 or 16, in like 3 or so years. Like he's like, I want to play with my kid in a couple years. And like, if I'm going hard, playing all game every game, or like playing regularly, like I'm not gonna be able to do that. And so, I think like I would imagine if I was being like looking in the future, like whenever Sean's kid's probably old enough to play, like there'll probably be some sort of separation there. But it's like Sean's very content with his role. His role is important, regardless of whether or not it's actively playing on the field like every single game, every single inning. Corinne as well. Corinne played very well at the charity tournament. Got on, I think, like 60% of the time and 70% of the time, and like she's never played against good teams like that before. And so, like obviously, like we do have 3 other girls who are really good, so it's like her role would be limited as well. But it's like there's also a game where Liv's gonna be gone, and guess who's gonna play? Fucking Corinne's gonna play. And I honestly see a world where like we'll kick against some teams, we'll kick 12. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's going to be plenty of games where she is getting
100%.
play time.
And so, like, I do like, obviously, like, a lot of us play Bad Astra together. Like, all of us besides the Chinels are on Bad Astra. And so, we play travel kickball together. And, like, I don't really see that stopping anytime soon. So, I do think we'll be together for a while. Like, it'll be interesting. Like, the weird thing is that, like, obviously, like, we've had to recruit people to replace Junior and Corbin. But, like, they're still on the team. So, like, that'll be interesting
Is
to
Junior
manage.
even, because I think he, from what I gathered when I talked to him at the charity tournament, he probably won't get eligible.
No, him and Corbin are both out for this year. Yeah, they're both. Corbin got an MRI yesterday. I think he's out.
No
yeah.
kidding.
So we don't have either of them, which is fine. But it's like my take would be like, well, Marcus was gonna just play and not play. Marcus like likes to ride pine. It's like, well, now he's gonna have to play. Mm-hmm. That is what it is. And then we picked up Scott and Dakota, from Post House.
Okay.
And so, I think, Scott played really well charity tournament. Dakota's a really good player. In my opinion, like Matt, like I don't know all the details here. Post House did not have him on their roster. I think that was a mistake. I don't know. Again, I don't know the details, but he was not on their roster, and I think that was a mistake. And so yeah, no, I think we'll be good, dude. I think the big difference in like I watch a lot of kickball, dude. I watch a lot of film and a lot of teams, and like I analyze and learn and this. It's like I really think like the big difference between our team, and it might not be enough of a difference. Like we might not be good. I don't know, but it's like the big difference you're gonna see between our team and other teams is there are gonna be people out there getting charity kicks and charity innings. Like that's not we're not gonna have the where are we gonna fit this person in one inning. And like Sean and Corinne both know that. Sean very upfront. I was very upfront. It's like if we were in a tight fucking game against Global, Sean did not play on Sunday against Global. He did not, and he will. I mean, I would assume we're gonna play Global in a tight game again. He will not play. And so it's like there will be no like that easy out. When this person goes, that won't happen on our team.
Yeah.
And I think like if I'm being honest, like I think that was the big difference between Johnny's and all these other teams is that like Johnny's doesn't have that either. And like again, people run their team however they want. But like that's the big difference there. And I think like what's interesting too is like we tried so hard not to have this team happen, which is like kind of funny too. Like a couple years ago, I won't say any individual names, but like a couple global players wanted me and another woman to join their team who were both good kickers after they were struggling to kick. The captain at the time said no. It was what it was. That person's no longer captain, but it was what it was. And then Jess tried very hard to get Chance and I to join Redlegs. And I won't say names. One of their captains and another player on the team was like, nope, won't play with Bryson. And like all hell broke loose from there. And that is perfectly fine. I will never complain about anyone not wanting to play with me. But I'll say this. You're going to have to play against me. Yeah. Good luck. I mean, that's what I'll say about that. That's the honesty. Good luck. And, like, I win a lot more than I lose. And so that's all I have to say about that. But, yeah, no, it's like the team is what it is. I don't think we're a fucking super team. I think we're a bunch of really good players. But I think there's really good players on every fucking team at the top. Like, I mean, there's I don't know that I can confidently say Redlegs is going to be able to compete to win the title because, like, I would say they played one game without Jess and lost to Topo Oaks last year. But at the same time, obviously, they picked up Tyler, they picked up Maddie, they picked up Riley. I'm missing somebody. Colton. And so I do think like I feel very strongly that they are going to be at the top of the teams right behind who can't win the title. So it's like wherever that line is, if it's like I would assume that line's going to be at 5 and 6. So it's like I think the top 5 teams, which would be, in my opinion, us, Global, Post House, Invictus, Johnny's. I think any of us 5 could win the league. I think the 6th team is very clearly Redlegs, in my opinion. And so that's my take. I could be wrong. Like I think LSF was the other team there last year. They've lost people, a lot of people. Like I mean, Kaylin is very pregnant. I saw like I was watching our City League game when I was gone. Like, saw her. She is very pregnant.
She was playing?
Yeah, she's playing. I was like, she is very pregnant. There was no shot she's still going to be playing, Suja. She is very pregnant. And then I don't know all the details there. I don't think Willoughby's on the team anymore. So I just don't see a world where LSF is able to compete at the top the way they were last year. Obviously, lost both Chinell brothers as well. And then,
I'm trying to think.
Like Love Garden, I think will be way better than they were last year. I think that I've heard they've made some good pickups in the offseason. But they also lost Skylar, though, in the same process to Global. And so it's like, I think the reason they struggled last year is because they didn't have Skylar. And I don't think they necessarily like completely fixed that.
I think Badgers will be.
Actually, I do want to talk about Badgers. Badgers is like a really interesting thing where it's like, so I've like heard a lot of varying opinions. You know, obviously they picked up Malloy, and everyone has very like. I think Malloy is the most talented player in the league. I don't think it's close. I think Malloy is like I think he's so fucking fast, and he has like every physical fucking tool you could ask for. I think the one thing that gets interesting with the Honey Badgers thing, I think it's great is like there's a I don't necessarily know the level of him and Kenny's friendship, but like I know they're like at least socially friends. Like I've seen them together multiple times in public, and like I think that is a good thing. I think Malloy being in a spot where it's like he's playing with people that he's friends with, but also not in a leadership role will help. I'm a firm believer. Everyone would play better if they weren't in charge. Myself even, and like Trey. It's like anyone. I think anyone. It does not matter who you are playing worse when you're in charge because like there's more. You're more to think about. More like, and that's why I like my situation. Because I have Sean. I can like delegate a lot of things to Sean. I delegated a lot to Kevin in the past, and it's like let them handle that type of stuff while I'm focusing on playing kickball. But yeah, it's like I think Malloy is really good pickup for the Honey Badgers. My question is though, is where I don't think that he I don't think the way their team's built, I don't think it's like I think he's gonna be playing shortstop. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's the case. But like that's what I've heard. And it's like I don't think he's a shortstop. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think Kenny is a shortstop. I don't necessarily think Brooksy is, and I think Eric is that their catcher's name, right?
No, so Brooksy he was pitcher, right?
Brooksy is pitching and center. Elia pitches.
All over, yeah.
Elia, I'm like they definitely move all around. But it's like Eric. I don't think the problem is I think they have like 5 really good triangle players, and so the problem is obviously only 3 people can play in your triangle, and so I don't think obviously whenever you're playing out of position, you're going to be a little bit worse than you would be if you're playing in position. So it's like. My only concern there with how good will they be is more in the how good are people going to be playing out of position, and then how effective will they be on offense. I do think you're right. I think it's going to be Honey Badgers Redlegs at 6'7". You know,
nice. Okay.
That was intended, pun intended. But I don't know. I think I actually had Badgers 7 on my ranking. I might have had Free State 7 actually, but I don't think Free State's going to be in the mix anymore.
Free State will be.
I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore, but Free State's not going to be that good anymore.
Okay.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. But yeah, Badgers are going to be in the mix, and I think what'll be interesting is they're used to it where they just have to play all the top teams. So I think adding Malloy, I think is a step in the right direction for them to be able to finally beat those teams because I'm speaking off the top of my head, but I don't think they've beaten a top 5 team in this side of the decade.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't. They've played a lot of very close got walked off type stuff, but I don't think they've beaten a team in the top 5. And I do see a world where adding Malloy gets them a win or 2 in there. Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, I don't know if they have what it takes to sustain that, win 3 top 8 games in a row in the playoffs type thing.
I'm wondering how many players they're having and how many guys.
Well, so I looked at their roster, and I think they were running pretty tight. I think 12 or 13.
That's not bad at all.
Which I do think is the right way to go about it. But yeah, I do think that team's gonna be good. I think it's just gonna be a matter of how good are people playing out of position, and where strategy. I think that the next part comes strategy stuff with them. It's not that obviously they know kickball strategy, but they don't. The one thing I say with a team like them is when things start going anywhat south, it always kind of feels like they leave strategy behind, and then it's can we, Honey Badger our way back into
this?
Well,
that's what happened when they lost to Topokes in marquee matchup. It looked like I think they were. I don't know how the game went, but I know that they were up at one point, and then as soon as they got into some sort of fight, whether it was losing or just a close battle, their whole demeanor changed, their whole dugout energy, everything it was gone. But yeah, I think Badgers will be real interesting. I guess now that you mentioned Free State, that's going to be interesting as well, because I have no idea what changes there were and whatnot. But I think outside of like top 8 and then under, I'd say maybe 18 is going to be kind of a question mark.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think what I think is going to be really interesting. I'm actually really excited to see where Dustin's team nets out.
Yeah.
Because they have Mikey, they have Tyrell.
I thought Mikey was Mikey Jacobson.
Yes.
I thought he was with Rollers.
Is he?
That's what
he's on the New Kids on the Block.
Told.
He's on the New Kids on the Block roster.
That's good for him. That's a great pick.
I mean, he might be on the Rollers roster too, though. He might be on the roll. I don't know. Yeah. I just know that's what I was told was on their roster.
Okay. They got Willis too.
Yeah. It's like that's gonna be that team is like, and that's again back to my point about the rankings thing. People are ranking them like 35. It's like, bro, they're gonna be better than that. Yeah. They're gonna like to me. They're gonna give like a slightly worse like first season Midnight Tokers. Mm-hmm. Like it's like I would expect them to be in the mix with like the Woosts and the stuff of the world. Mm-hmm. JB's College Fusion level. Like I think that will be. I think their struggle is going to be, I think Haley's not going to be super available this summer, so I think their women are going to not necessarily be up to, like, maybe the standard of their men set, but I think it'll be fun. I think it's good. I think Topher's planning on playing, which is fun, because he's been, like, kind of inactive. But, yeah, I'm excited to see how that team does.
What do you know about Arbar? I saw you ranked them above us, so I didn't know if there was, like, any...
They're good.
Are they?
I mean...
Like, did they get any pickups that you know of?
No, dude, I mean, bro, they almost beat you guys last year.
Yeah, I still think that...
You got lucky. Fucking Isaac tore his hamstring. Thank you for that, because they would have beaten us if he didn't do that.
Yeah.
But,
we did have a very experimental lineup that game, I will add. But
well, my take would be, I think you guys are going to be a little bit worse than you were last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll say, I think Junior's like second best catcher in the league. So, losing Junior... That's my opinion. I'm not saying it right. That's just my opinion. I think losing the people you guys lost, take a step back. I think Arbar, dude, it's like, I think about the way, and obviously, like, you guys beat us by more than, I mean, we beat Arbar, but so you guys beat us by more, but it's like, the way I felt playing in the moment was like, I felt like you guys were like super beatable if the whole like Morgan situation didn't go down the way it went down. The Morgan, like me kicking her off the team in the middle of the game, and like her sending Tyrell when she should, and like everything that like unraveled because of that, like removed our ability to compete actually in that game. But it's like, dude, Arbar had us like dead to fucking rights. Like the only reason we were able to win that game is because they didn't have a third baseman. Mm-hmm. Like it was like we just like were able to abuse that, and like I don't leave strat. Like we will abuse your your weakness in inning 1, and we'll do it in inning 8, and we'll do it in inning 6, and it's like we won't stop doing it. But it's like the Aguilar twins, both really good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Gabby is probably the 5th or 6th best girl in the league. And I mean, I would say Arbar's probably lucky that she's not on global. Thank God she's not, because she would make them a lot better. But who else do they have? Like Sarah, I assume Sarah's going to play. Their child is no longer young.
Yeah,
so she's going to be able to play. James is James like low key one of the best kickers in the league.
Yeah.
So it's like
on the line.
I think Arbar is going to be very good. The problem is like they're still going to be in that same inconsistent level where it's like they have players who are not very good on their team, and like they are a open like what everybody plays type of place. So it's like I ranked them above you guys because I think at their ceiling, like I think if they were to play you guys, I don't think they'll play their like weaker players very much. But it's like at the same time, it wouldn't shock me if they lost to JB's Cali Fusion because they played their weaker players in that game. Yeah. And so it's just like an interesting, what side.
Well, I think it's like they have 4, 5 like solid players.
Yeah.
But then the rest, like especially from
like
what I
2 like really really good players. I think Isaac.
From what I saw,
really
they had some players who belong on a team that's playing for the boot. Like
I would agree. I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
So that's where I like.
I would agree with that.
When it came to Arbar, like, am I like would I like if I played Arbar week 1, am I going to take it easy? Absolutely not, because I know that they're gonna do their.
Well, they must be Red Legs last year.
Yeah, and then but like, do I think that I ranked us above them just because I think that we're the better top to bottom team. That's about it.
Yeah, well, if there's anything I know about Arbar, I'm sure they'd love to play you.
That'd be a lot of fun.
So, I'm sure, I mean, I guess it'll depend on what number you guys fall on, but, I mean, you guys probably play each other anyway.
It's looking like about 12, I think.
You guys are 12?
About.
You guys are 12? No.
That's what the column, the average came out to on the when I last looked.
13.35
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But the problem is that like that probably actually means like 14 or 15 because like a bunch of teams. There's like 3 teams on 10. You know.
No. Yeah. Right. I hope they're.
But nonetheless, though. Yeah. No. I mean. Shit. Our bar's 16.2. Yeah. That's. I mean. You know what? You guys will definitely play each other. That's all that really matters to me. But yeah. No. It's gonna be interesting. I think our bar's gonna be good. I think.
I also just like our bar as a team. Like
they got good as wings.
I've
too.
only played them once, and I had a good time playing them, and it was fun.
You know who I'll be curious about is the D-holes this year because that team is like very obviously trending downward. But it's like with the whole LSF situation, I think they have Steve now.
Steve.
From LSF, Ariana's wife, but she's
husband.
Ari's wife. Yeah, her husband. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Ari's husband. But it's like he's got a cannon, bro.
Yeah.
Man, it's like Cedric got it. Cedric's good. Like Cedric, like sneaky, like one of the best third basemen in the league.
Yeah.
And it's like they have Santos, who's like also like sneaky, like in the top tier of kickers too. On his day, so it's like it's a team that's like sneaky. But obviously they have been trending down, but it's like also at the same time like they have Amir.
Amir's
mad respect to me. Not the greatest defensive player. That dude is like really good on offense.
Yeah,
really good bunter, dude.
Like
and it's like that was very very sorely missed on our team last year. So
yeah, that's an interesting team. Sacred Sword's gonna be weird.
Sacred Sword's gonna be weird because it's like obviously Washi was on our team for like 4 days. That was fun. You didn't know that?
Went back.
Yeah, Washi.
No, I knew he was on your team.
Washi went back. Yeah,
and I found out.
We call him Wishy Washy around our parts.
That's good. That's good.
I am in no capacity, and I will not speak very ill of Washi by any means. Those are his friends, dude. Like long time friends, and it's like it was hard for him to leave them. I admitted, like honestly, like didn't want him on the team because I was like, he does not want to. It was very obvious. It's like you're either in or you're out. I'm a big like shit or get off the pot guy, and it's like it was very obvious he did not want to leave his friends. But it's like he also he wants to win Kvkl. He's good. He's really Washi on his day is the best kicker in the league. I actually feel very strongly on that. I'm not sure mentally he has what it takes to be the best kicker in the league playing against top teams all the time. But it's like, yeah, he just like, with like Corbin getting hurt and everything is who's like probably like the only real friend he has on our team of like someone his age that he, would hang out with socially, by his own choosing. Mm-hmm. Like, I just like, I don't know, Washi like, just like leaving his friends to come play with a bunch of people who like argue a lot and yell at each other and are mean to each other. Like, which is like never gonna make sense to me, and that's kind of why I didn't want him on the team. It was not a skill thing. He's one of the best kickers in the league. I just like didn't think he fit, and so it's like the least surprising thing ever was finding out at like 4 a.m. when I was in London that Washi was going back to Sacred Sword. I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I think Scott and Dakota, who we basically kind of recruited to replace him, is like a two piece there. Mm-hmm. I think we will be better with Scott and Dakota because we got 2 people rather than like having had Washi.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Especially with the Corbin injury,
So that changes Sacred Sword's outlook.
Yeah, but it's like they lost Alec, and I actually think Alex Sneaky was the best player on the team.
I don't know anything about Sacred.
Josie,
that's a name.
Yeah, Josie's very good.
Yep, that's a name.
Probably one of the best girl kickers in the league. But like the thing is with them is like it's always it goes back to strategy, and like they're all Huddy like he was playing like travel with us and he was on our Kansas City League team. But like they're good enough that like I think with the new schedule I think they're gonna be in the second group so they'll beat up on everybody.
Did we talk about I don't think you brought up the new schedule on here.
What do you mean?
I don't think on here you just said the new schedule.
No, I did at the beginning. Well, we're not supposed to talk about it.
Alleged.
Yeah, it's alleged. It's alleged.
For sure.
But like I do think they'll beat up on all the teams because I think they'll be better than most of the teams they play. But like I don't like I think if they were in the top tier, I just like don't see they might win one, but like you saw it happen the past couple years. Like they'll put up some runs, but it's like their defense just gets torn apart. It's the simple things. It's the not getting the ball back to the pitcher immediately and stuff like that. I'm excited, dude. Like knowing nothing, I looked at the rosters. I looked at ringers. I don't know a name on that shit, bro. I know Brooks, bro. I love Brooks. He's my Kvkl board member. He's like my board guy. I love Brooks. I don't know nobody on that team. I assume it's the same names as the year before. I just love watching them play, bro, because it's like I really love watching people play who can have fun regardless of the situation. And I still go back to that video of him like before the boot final,
POV.
with POV shot of his like pregame speech, bro, and it's like. Bro, if there's one team I want to see have success that's not my own, it's the Ringers. So I hope they're able to compete. I do think like they were taking that step. Like there's like a weird grouping when you get into the plate group where it's like, at least last year it was like R-Bar was like very clearly at the top of that group and they won it, so it's not surprising. But it's like then you have this like group. You have the Red Lions, you have the JB's Cali Fusions, you have I'm missing somebody.
You said R-Bar.
Well, R-Bar's the kind of above that group. It's like that you have the good teams that like on a good day could beat the bottom of like Harpies and stuff of the world.
You're talking like Red Lion.
Red Lion last year was not good though. They were not good. They're getting old, man. And I think they're like I think the problem with them is that they're drinking too much, and now as they're getting older, they're not able to also be athletic at the same time. Yeah. But like then like you have like Woost, you had Screamers, you had all these other teams there too, where it's like literally any of those teams could be like they could play every day for a week, and you have like a completely different game play out and a completely different scoreline every single day. And like Ringers, it felt like last year were like right behind getting in there. They were like they're with Empire. They're like we're right here, but we can't fucking punch our way in the fucking door.
Ringers were playing for the plate last year, right? They were in that bracket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because I think what you're saying is accurate. Because when they went in the plate, I think, like for me, I was like, okay, like it's pretty easy to say like they're not going to win the boot.
Yes.
They're probably not going to go far, but they don't belong in the boot.
Yes,
like,
correct.
Like if they were in the boot last year, they would have won every game by
yes, agreed. I think I want to see them like compete at the time, and I think R-Bar is going to be out of the boot. So I think we're going to have a new boot champion this year.
You mean plate?
Plate. Yeah. I think we're having a new plate champion because I think R-Bar is going to be in the Twain side of the bracket when the time comes. So that'll be fun. The other thing too, like obviously, like, I don't necessarily know a ton of names. So it's like the one thing about Woost is they still getting older, but like I think they're getting better.
I think they got better too.
Which is kind of that's like defies all logic. It's like because I think there's like 3 barriers. I use like 3 barriers to rank teams. 1, just like skill, level. 2, age. 3, alcohol consumption. And it's like if you're an older team that's consuming alcohol, typically going down. Yeah. And it's like your skill level might be able to like raise you up a little bit if you're good or blah blah. But it's like Woost, elderly team, a lot of people on the team. They got like platoons. They're like that 2014 Kentucky team, bro. They're like they'll run 10 out there one inning on defense and have a whole new 10 out there the next inning. But like they be drinking, bro. And the thing is, they're getting better. Yeah. They just defy all logic there. And now Jeff's on the boards. I'm sure he'll be able to rig himself some wins too. Yeah. That's always helpful. But it's like, and then like obviously you got the Empire in there, and like I don't know, like I watched we played Empire on Sunday, and I watched the game. Marcus recorded it obviously, and like obviously I had a lot of people who were on the team. Like Jeff Bovee was on the team, Dustin Baxter was on the team, Santos was on the team. There were some people, and I think Allie from Leafees was on. I think Leafees, she might have left Leafees. I don't know, because I think Leafees kind of in shambles. I think Neff left as well. I was watching the game, and there appeared to be some players for Empire that I had never seen before, so I'm assuming they were on Empire. Like that's just my assumption there. They were actually kind of solid. Like they looked like they had some promise, and so hopefully they'll turn into something for Empire. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know you have somewhat of a time crunch, so we got to get out of here somewhat quick. But we do have I have like 2 announcements, and then I want us to just do the way too early Cup Twain plate.
I was gonna do for the next time the blind rankings again, a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I think like what I say we do is we guess what the seedings will be for the playoffs next week. We can do another one next week once we have the schedule. Okay. Once we know who people are playing. That way we can make some educated guesses. But I have 2 announcements. First one. I can't say where yet, but the Pirate Pod this season will be live. I know, Ryan, you obviously know I've talked to you about this. Pirate Pod this season is going to have a sponsor, and it is going to be live. And we are going to raise money for charity. We are going to make a great deal. I'm not going to say where, but I'll say this. For those who are Pirate Pod heads who aspire to come attend in person, the drinks will be cheap. The drinks will be for a good cause. And so I'm excited to make that announcement. We're going to formalize some things, and we'll get that out. We're going to have a sponsor who is going to give money as well to Kvkl charity. And our last thing is this. I came up with an idea. And so I reached out to who, like, I don't know what the term is, bro. I always forget. Embroider is like what comes to my head, but it's not right. Who designs trophies? Who, like, what's the name of someone who engrave?
I like the word you use.
Engrave. Embroider's not right. A local engraving company. We came to a negotiation deal. I gave them some little part. I gave them some sponsorship, some free plug on the Pirate Pod moving forward. They will make me 3 trophies, and so we are going to have 3 Pirate Pod giving out trophies at the end of the year.
You know what's crazy is I was in my last session. I was rubbing.
You're rubbing a
65-year-old lady actually.
Oh, is she hot?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Anywho, I was rubbing a 65-year-old lady, and I was saying we should be doing awards purely from the Pirate Pod, and so now you say that just takes.
You told her that?
No, I was in my head.
Oh, you told a 65-year-old lady that?
Quiet room. Oh yeah, and I was sitting there myself, like, wow, the Pirate Pod could really do something great this year.
Well, let the record show. I told him 3, but we could do more if you wanted to. Honestly, I'd be down to get like pretty creative with it. Come on more. My take was like offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and I don't know how to frame this. I don't know how to frame this without it coming. I'm gonna say best moment caught on video.
Okay, I like that.
And I'm attributing that to the like just bonkers shit that happens sometimes. It's like, how on earth did this happen? Mm-hmm. And it might be somebody doing something funny on video. It might be somebody making an insane play on video. That's like, how the fuck did they do that? Best moment on video was what I was thinking. I did have the other idea of like, I think, love the ladies of the league, like ladies MVP of the league.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking for both.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do one MVP and then just be like, okay, cool.
My one concern sometimes comes with that stuff is that, like, as you know, with like NFL awards and even NBA awards, it's like offensive player of the year normally wins MVP, and so it's like I don't want someone to win both.
Yeah.
But it's like there's also a world where maybe the offensive player of the year is not on a good team, so maybe they. But yeah, we're gonna do some awards, and I think what I was thinking. And we can cook on this some more and get the info. I was thinking of giving the public the ability to vote. $5. All the money goes to charity. You get to put in a vote for each, and we'd weight the public vote 50%, and then you and I 25% of like deciding who wins the awards, and then like combining it all together. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
I will add. I think, and I'm hoping for that with it being live, is it gives us a better read into, like, I'm not by any means saying the Tropics are on top of the league, but being live and having maybe some people like in attendance who we don't get messages from or see on.
Will you be okay when people tell you the Tropics are ass, or will you start crying?
It's mid, it's fine.
Will you start crying?
I'll argue with them.
Okay.
Probably, but
okay. I just don't want you to cry, bro. I'm looking out for you right now.
Well, I'm not afraid to cry. I'll cry next Pirate Pod. I don't care. But just like if people are showing up, then we can maybe get some more intel on the lower teams.
Dude, I agree. And that I think I'll say something on that. Marcus, I think, is going to record some more games of that tier, or at least be able to edit. I think Brant's recording games down there. I think there's going to be a little bit more recording done on that part of the league. Yeah. I think it'll be fun. And I think the other thing I would say too is like, not the teams I think it's like teams at the bottom like definitely will complain sometimes, like, oh, there's lots of like everyone talks about the top, but it's like also like I feel like some of those people aren't always like I would say like Brant and Jeff Bovey, obviously the two people that come to mind because they're very active participants in the Facebook group and stuff. But it's like they're very forward about their teams. They're talking about their teams. It's like we need more of that.
We've had
an open more door. Of that. You've
told people
more
to DM you questions.
More of that. Everybody talk about your teams, and bro, I'll say this, bro. I'm a professional scoop meister. If you got scoops, if you want to say something about your team, and you don't want me to repeat that you said it, tell me that. You could tell me that you want to do something massively illegal and are going to do something illegal, and I won't tell anyone you did. It's between you and I. So it's like if you have takes, you have a take on your team's game, you have a take on this, you have a take on a ref. Last year, when the Love Garden Honey Badgers situation happened, I think I had an emergency Pirate Pod about that. I didn't give out no sort. I felt like I was Gossip Girl, bro. I had 4 billion fucking messages about it. And so that's send me messages. We'll talk about it. All right, real quick. Who wins Cup?
Cup, Johnny's.
Who wins the Twain?
Red Legs. No, they won't be in it. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one, actually. I'll say Shirt Factory.
Plate.
D-holes.
That's a good pick. I thought this was what I was thinking there. Boot.
Rockets won it last year, right?
I think so, yeah.
Ringers won't be in it. I'll go with the Beavers.
Yeah, that's what my one thing is. I think they might not be in it.
In the play.
I'm thinking Fems, late fees, Rockets, and then it's like who's that for? Late fees.
I think it has.
Did I say late fees?
I think it has to be.
Late fees, Fems.
I think it will definitely be.
Yeah.
I think Beavers will be that fourth team in there.
Ghost was in there. Wasn't Ghost Rockets?
Ghost just beat Harpies in the charity tournament.
Yeah, but then they have people that weren't on their team.
I have no idea.
I think they had people that weren't on their team.
Possibly.
Wasn't it Ghost Rockets in that game last year?
Not the championship.
Of the
boot?
I think it was.
No joke. No, it couldn't have been. Ghost would have won by 100. Ghost would have won by 100, dude. If I'm wrong, then like I will eat my words. But dude, wait, are you going to the Kvkl website?
Yeah, I'm about to.
Dude, is it impossible for you to?
It's impossible to navigate on mobile.
You
have to Google search what you want.
That's crazy. I just been going to teams and clicking on the actual names of the teams.
You gotta Google Kvkl Kickball League schedule. Pull up 2025 season. Because the fucking search bar.
Who's
dude? This league is in shambles, man.
Which board member do I blame?
Oh, it was Rockets, Bald Beavers.
Yeah. So it was.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Bald Beavers is a good pick. I'm gonna go reverse order for you. I will say Bald Beavers. I like Bald Beavers. I actually like your D-holes pick a lot. However, because you pick D-holes, I'm gonna be a hipster. I'm gonna pick whatever the hell they call the tokers now, Holman and whatever.
Over Jazz House.
I don't think Jazz House gonna be. Didn't you take Jazz House to best 2 players?
I took their best 4.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be good. Yeah, I'm taking them. I think Jackson Wagner.
Holman, yeah, Jay Wagner.
His ankle got to be healed by now, bro.
It's probably just replaced with.
It's been 2 years, brother.
Yeah,
it's been 2 years. Ankle's got to be cooking. I think they're gonna win that shit. Mm-hmm. Twain. I would have sleeper picked Free State because I could have seen a world where Free State would like play a Sacred Sword or something. Because I don't know if they're gonna fix the schedule, but I think currently Free State's in the top 9. I don't think they should be in there anymore. And so if they fix that, then what I'm saying is irrelevant. But before I thought they'd be like the 7th or 8th seed and then just like drop down and then win the Twain. I think like another. Obviously, like, it was JDE versus Love Garden last year. Like JDE sneaky to be in there too, just because like they're the type of team that gets upset in the playoffs every year.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would have put them in the cup.
Yeah,
but.
I think JDE. I think I'm gonna go JDE. I think I'm gonna go JDE. Gonna win the Twain. And I gotta pick my team to win the cup. I have to back. I gotta back the squad, back in the autographs. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I think I'll say this. I think we are going to have the best cup title game we've had in a long, long time. And my team may not be in it, and my team may be in it.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Johnny's just like wasn't in it this year? Because I feel like Johnny's has been the ones that like, everybody has their eyes on.
And it's like that would be crazy.
That'd be bizarre.
The thing is about them, and again, it goes back to my point, and then we get out of here, is that like the real difference, besides like obviously Michael being left-handed is a cheat code, Carrie, best girl in the league, playing pitcher for them. Like Shane's really, really good at their base, and Zach in center field is a fucking like no massive fucking blob of like unable to drop the ball out here. It's like they are just going to stick to their strategy. They're not going to deviate away from it. They're not going to take useless outs in a game ever. And it's like they're not going to compound errors. And that was a big thing. My team and I talked about from our game with Globals. They're like, everyone's gonna make mistakes. People Zach, Johnny's in that championship game last year played horrible. Like I wouldn't even say that they didn't play. They played horrible, especially for like Johnny's standards. But it's like horrible for them is like a bad throw to first base where a runner goes from first to second. It's like, but for some teams, it's like bad throw to first, and then they throw it bad throw to second. It's like things compound, and then you end up in situations where you can't fight back from. And it's like in games, like people don't realize that it's like, errors lead to big things, and it's like it's okay. I'll use a good example. I think Chance is the second best center fielder in the league. But it's like he had a kick against goal the other day. Like he like slipped and fell, and it's like but he like got back up, threw the ball right back, and it's like somehow fielders like like they'll fall or drop the ball, and like then it's like oh fuck I fucked up, and they're too worried about the fact they fucked up to like remember what they need to do next, and then like they throw the ball somewhere they shouldn't, and then runners are able to get that extra base, and like people don't realize like I'll say this, and this is the only bit of strategy advice I will ever give out on this show. having a runner on third base is the best thing you can ever do. And I would say this 10 times out of 10. Unless there's 2 outs, I would rather stop at third base than have it inside the park home run any day of the week. I think like the ground rule triple is the most overpowered thing you can have in this game, unless there's like 2 outs, where you have like kind of a risk of not scoring. Because like having a runner on third base, and you know that like when I won you that D-Holes game a couple years, it's like having a runner on third base is a fucking weapon. And I'm not going to tell you guys how to fucking use it. I'm not going to tell you how to leverage runners. I'm not going to teach nobody nothing. But having a runner on third base is the most important weapon you can have. And it's like letting teams get runners on third base when they shouldn't be on third base is like how you win and lose games. It is that simple. Every game, if you look, and this is going to sound dumb, but it's also like teams will lose games where they had runners on third more than they didn't. Plenty. But it's like the team who has a runner on third base the most wins the game.
Yeah.
It's just like you can score multiple runs with a runner on third base. Like you get a runner on third with no outs, that is better than them getting a home run.
Absolutely.
So that's all. I don't know if you have any closing remarks. Hopefully, captain's meeting 5 days from now. Can't wait. That's always a fun spectacle. So, yeah. But
exciting times, man.
Yes, sir. It is.
How do you know what the gap was last year between charity and start of season? It wasn't 2 weeks. It was
more, like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I remember it was early. I remember. Well, I fucking planned my vacation, dude. I played on one charity tournament this decade. I've missed this KU's football spring game every year this decade.
Yeah.
I have done everything I can to like try and calculate when that's going to be every single year, and I have gotten it wrong every single year. And it's like last year, the year before, so 2024, we had the charity tournament late.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it because I had to work thing. 2023, we had it late, so I had a work thing, and so last year, last year I was like, I'm just not going anywhere in April. I was like, fuck the bullshit. I ain't going nowhere. I want to be able to play in a charity tournament. I ain't fucking going nowhere, blah, blah. But this year I was like, well, they had it early, so I'm going to assume they're going to have it because early is the right decision. Early is the right decision. So I was like, they're having it early, so I'm going to go to London for 11 days. I'm going to watch a ton of fucking soccer games, and we're going to have the time of our lives. I'm going to make sure that there are 3 weekends before there were, and I still missed it.
That's crazy.
And so it's just like, bro, I don't know. It is what it is. The world's out to get me. But it's we're getting after it, man.
Yeah.
Getting after it. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to see everyone in our live show. I hope we. Honestly, actually, I don't.
What if no one shows up?
Well, I hope people show up for the charity drink thing.
Yeah. But maybe people hate charity. Have you considered that?
No.
Just the thought.
No, I hope to see you guys at the live shows. You guys can come up and talk unfiltered. I don't give a shit what you say. And don't make me cry. It's a real possibility, but that's all I got.
Make Ryan cry.
Sure.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate doing this with you again, bro. We'll do another one next week.
Absolutely.
Once we have the schedule. I'm sure I'll see you at the captain's meeting on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try. I don't even know the NBA playoffs is a fucking hellscape, bro. It's like I looked at my work schedule like when I got back, and I was like, I wanted to fucking cry, bro. It's like I work all day, every day, all night. It's nonstop, and it's hell. So I don't know if I'll be able to go to the regular Kvkl podcast. I hope I can, because also though it's like sometimes I feel like when I go there, I feel the need to talk. I have a talking problem, and so sometimes I think it's better if I don't go. Because I love like letting Sean speak on behalf of our team. Yeah. One of my favorite things is letting Sean speak on behalf of the team, because it's like he's such a outspoken going guy, but it's like when it comes to like speaking on behalf of other people, he actually really doesn't like doing that, and so it's like it always cracks me up listening to him talk about our team.
Well, he just talks in riddles and like analogies and shit that I don't know from before my time, and I'm like, okay, Sean.
Did you last thing, and then I'm pressing stop recording.
Okay.
Did you know what my team's name was at the charity tournament this week?
It was a bunch of letters.
Did you know what they stood for?
Sean told me, but I forgot what it was. It was like it's something.
You better
about...
get us now because it's coming.
Yeah.
You know who that quote came from?
No.
Dan Hurley. In 2021 when they lost the tournament.
Yeah.
You know what happened after that?
They won it all.
They won it all again. They made it to the Natty. They lost, unfortunately. But they did a lot of winning.
Sean is kind of the Dan Hurley of KVKL, isn't he?
Yes.
I like
basically.
it. I like it.
Basically, I would love nothing more than to watch Sean headbutt kiss a fucking ref at some point this season.
I hope I'm that ref.
But yeah, nonetheless, well, I appreciate everyone for listening. We'll do a more in-depth episode next week to talk more drama and spice. But Godspeed.